Hey guys, Ryan here with another video on functional programming. Now, it's been a few weeks since I've published a video, and that's because I've been a bit distracted. I've been using a library called fpts, that's Functional Programming TypeScript. I'd estimate that I've spent around 10 hours so far learning the library and building it into my current project. So what I wanted to do today was to talk a bit about what this library is all about, my 2 cents so far, and a couple of small speed bumps that I hit along the way. In a previous video, I've talked about other TypeScript libraries that are used for functional techniques. These are tsoption and neverthrow, and as much as I like these libraries, there is a disadvantage to using them, and that is that they're not exactly designed to be used together. What I mean by that is that whenever you take little snippets of functionality from different libraries, eventually you're going to run into situations where you need to convert between different data types, combine types together, or glue all of these different functions together, and a lot of that will end up falling onto you. So what I really wanted was a functional ecosystem, similar to what you would get in a functional first programming language like Scala or Haskell, but in TypeScript. And that's what fpts gives you. What I really like about it is that it's a large library with a ton of functionality, and it's all designed very cohesively. So as you're mix and matching different parts of the library, different types together, it all comes together very naturally. Another thing that I like is that I use Scala professionally, and while I was learning fpts, it was actually very reminiscent of a lot of the naming conventions and a lot of the functionality that's native to Scala. So this TypeScript library is actually heavily inspired by these functional languages. My 2 cents so far is that I really like it. I'm going to continue using it in my project, which is a front-end web application. However, there are a couple of things that I ran into, so I just wanted to talk about those for a second. The first thing is the documentation. It's relatively terse. So I do think that people who are trying to pick up the library, especially those people who aren't already familiar with functional concepts, will probably be turned away by the documentation, unfortunately. Now, the good news is that the library has been around for long enough that for any of the basic questions that I had on how to use the library, there were a lot of great tutorials that were just a quick Google search away. So if you go to take a look at the documentation and you don't find much there, don't let that turn you away. Go pull up some tutorials. You can find a lot of the information there. The second thing that I ran into was actually the syntax is quite a bit different from what I was expecting. Like I said, I use Scala professionally, and within Scala, there's a very commonly used pattern of a dot notation syntax that's used to chain commands together. I personally really like this syntax because it's very clean, it's very simple, and fpts does not use this syntax at all. Instead, what you'll find is that you'll be reaching for a pipe operator, which is essentially a function that can be used to compose other functions together. It works great, and you get type checking. It just takes a little bit of getting used to. I've actually found that the more that I use it, the more I've come to appreciate it. The advantage of this type of syntax is that it's actually very extensible. I have a lot of things to say about it. There's a lot of stuff to talk about there. If you have questions, or if you have comments, or you want to see more on these types of things, please drop a comment down below. I'd love to create more content on all of this. But anyway, that's it for this video. Go check out fpts. I'll see you guys next time.